Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ronnie. In today's video, I'm going to offer a guided meditation. If meditation is something you're already familiar with and comfortable with, I'm going to put a timestamp in the description so you can jump straight to the meditation portion when I ring the bell. If meditation is something that's new to you and you came here out of curiosity, welcome. Good job. I don't have many recommendations to make on proper meditation. There are books galore on the posture and the breathing practices and the visualizations that you can do. If you're new to meditation, maybe consider thinking of it as a category more so than a specific activity, like sports. You're allowed to find a comfortable posture. You are allowed to stand up, sit down, lay down. You're allowed to breathe as you wish. But don't be surprised if you find your breathing changes as the meditation progresses. Oftentimes, I find myself naturally breathing deeper and exhaling slower. And it's not necessarily because I'm trying to make that happen. And there's endless guided meditations available. There are apps specifically made for meditation practice. And I'm throwing mine in here, adding to the large library of guided meditations that are available as YouTube videos. I hope you enjoy this practice. I hope you get something out of it. If you do or if you don't, I'd love to hear in the comments what your experience with it was. This particular meditation today is something that I put together for an in-person group that I met up with this week. And the response to it was generally positive. And I've never posted a meditation on YouTube, so I decided to take it from in-person practice into our virtual community. Today's meditation is a practice of expansion and some loving kindness, as it's known. Loving kindness is also a category of meditations, focusing on the quality of the energy that the meditator is radiating, both inwards and outwards. And this meditation is going to focus on three, we'll say, energetic qualities or maybe wishes for ourselves and for the greater world. Those three things are health, happiness, and prosperity. It's easy for me to understand that no matter what my thoughts are about another person, it's really easy for me to imagine that most people desire health, happiness, and prosperity. And if I have another person in my mind, in my thoughts, it's always possible for me to include those three words in the thoughts I'm having. And it has inspired some radical shifts in the playback that I experience. You may have seen in a previous video, I said my train of thought is like a nonstop ticker tape, and some really strong thoughts and feelings and unsettling opinions can arise. And when I pay attention to them, um, I come back into a position of agency, that I'm not required to buy into the thought storyline or narrative. Um, at all times, I can return almost like a mantra. This is also a bit of a mantra practice today, to those three words: health, happiness, and prosperity. So today's meditation is brought to you by my DIY bell, which is a glass cover for a lighting fixture and a spoon. The sound of the bell invites us to settle into our chosen posture. It invites us to be with the sounds, the textures, the sensations, as we call them. Opening or closing your eyes is always optional during meditation, but understand that this meditation will specifically try to bring visual elements to your mind and your thoughts. With a breath in and a breath out. I want you to know that we think we've discovered these things that are known as quarks. Now, I'm not very well versed in physics, but my understanding is that subatomic particles is an understatement for what these quarks are. Our strongest technology can't actually see them. Wavelengths of light just move beyond them. They are smaller than small than small. In comparison to them, something microscopic is enormous. We can only detect them mathematically. And we're pretty sure that they're there, and without them, things become incomplete. If you have a way of imagining a quark, offer a quark health, happiness, and prosperity. As these quarks gather together, they begin to form those subatomic particles that fill up a nucleus. I've heard it said that if the nucleus of an atom were the size of a basketball, there would be absolutely nothing but empty space for 25 miles in every direction. Offer the nucleus of an atom health, happiness, and prosperity. And an atom itself, once upon a time, was only something theoretical, maybe even theological. And we have ways of imaging them, even though thousands, maybe millions of them could be lined up side by side and fit inside a human hair. And as far as we can tell, not a single physical object we encounter exists without being made up of these atoms. Can you offer an atom health, happiness, and prosperity? Now, by forces that we can't fully understand or put into words, though we, of course, have our ideas and hypotheses, these atoms come together, they group together, and they form molecules. And that's how we end up with the things that we call oxygen, hydrogen, methane. Can you offer molecules health, happiness, and prosperity? these different molecules, they themselves group together. And find themselves becoming cells. We're still in the realm of things that are so small, the human eye can't detect them. Very good microscopes can. And I think we have 1 trillion of these cells in our body. And by every definition, each of these cells is on its own alive. Imagine offering cells health, happiness, and prosperity. And you may notice by now that we have taken a number of steps to arrive in our body now. Those trillion cells made of molecules, made of atoms, with nuclei full of quarks, every step of the way, imbued with health, happiness, and prosperity. Take a deep breath, and on the exhale now, offer yourself your own body health, happiness, and prosperity. In these bodies, people also bundle together. They group together. And we certainly have thoughts and opinions and hypotheses about why people gather. A group of people can become a family, a household, a city, a state, a province, a country. Can you offer all of humanity health, happiness, and prosperity? And even taking all of humanity into consideration, there are others. Some philosophies refer to sentient beings, or all beings. Animals, insects, rocks, minerals, plants, trees, algae. The list goes on and on. Can you offer all sentient beings health, happiness, and prosperity? At the current time in history, right now Earth is the only planet that we have, so to speak. It's been said that when a person takes a rocket ship out to outer space, something changes in them. The first time they look out the window and they see the entire planet Earth, with its surprisingly thin atmosphere and all of its history, if it were you out in that spaceship, seeing the entire Earth in one single window frame, can you offer the entire Earth health, happiness, and prosperity? Earth, as we know, is just one planet, one large, roundish piece of solid matter rolling around in the curved space-time around our star, the one we call the sun. Now, I've heard it said that if the sun were reduced to the size of a grain of sand, the Earth, completely invisible at that size, would be about 10 to 13 centimeters away from that grain of sand sun. And the edge of our solar system, if we really knew where it was, would be a meter away or farther. We have spacecraft that's been rocketing farther and farther and farther away from Earth for 60 years. And it still hasn't quite found where that edge of the solar system is. We're part of it. Can you offer this solar system health, happiness, and prosperity? Consider that our solar system is just one in possibly trillions orbiting around a black hole. And we call this, our galaxy, the Milky Way. It's our home. We've explored so little of it. If you can, take our whole galaxy into your mind and your imagination and offer the galaxy, the Milky Way, health, happiness, and prosperity. Not too long ago, humans thought that each point of light in the night sky was a star. And as we developed better and better telescopes, people were surprised to find out some of those single points of lights were galaxies just like our own. And some of those galaxies emitted that light billions of years ago, and it's only just now reaching our eyes. And as far as we know, the collection of all of these different galaxies is our universe. If you can, offer our entire universe health, happiness, prosperity. And this universe contains everything. Maybe there are other universes, also part of everything. As people, we have large and wild imaginations. And we can think about things that might not even be possible. If there's some kind of container for our universe, other universes, our imaginations, our concepts, and everything that is both possible and impossible. If you can, offer that container health, happiness, and prosperity. And I want you to take one final step with me. We've gone from the unbelievably small to the unbelievably large. From quarks to everything that could possibly and could not possibly ever be. And where else did we find space for that but here and now? Inhaling deeply. And exhaling slowly. Let here and now return to your consciousness. In your body, in our galaxy, on this earth, made up of nuclei, atoms, cells, and molecules. Recognizing that we have offered our best intentions every step along the way. Make a small movement. Wiggle your toes or fingers if you can. Scrunch up your nose or smile. Scratch your forehead. And offer here and now health, happiness, and prosperity. Can I admit that I've ever been blessed with more than I deserved? Can I admit that I have ever withheld the boundless goodness for which my heart serves as a channel? Can I admit that when I reach the outer limits of my knowledge, the horizon still extends farther than I can perceive? Can I admit that I feel fear and I allow that fear to drive my actions? Can I admit that the same fear exists in anyone I may blame? Can I admit that my needs are, in fact, very few, and the gifts that are small to me may be unimaginable to another? Can I admit to my true capacity to hold the suffering, the conflict, and all I believe to be wrong and evil, holding true to my only responsibilities in life: health, happiness, prosperity, unrestrained? I'm so glad you joined me for this meditation practice today. Thank you for your time and your attention. Please feel free to share your experiences in the comments. And until next time, cálmate, turista.